Hi guys. Hey everyone. This is just gonna be a haul video from Joanne's. Hey guys, so this is gonna be a charm update. So today I'm gonna be showing you a Michael's craft store haul. Sculpey is my favorite brand to use. Good tip is before you get clay, make sure to touch it and make sure that it's soft, because you don't want to get a hard clay block and then when you come home you see that it's hard and you can't use it.
On an addictive mode today with making charms. I don't know, but something like today was just like, you gotta make charms today. I'm actually baking them right now.
I made Dumbo the Flying Elephant, and I really love that movie and I really love the character. He's super cute. I made Pluto from Mickey Mouse. I made this turtle. I made this gecko or lizard. This Hunger Games Mockingjay pin, and I didn't use any cookie cutters or molds to make this. It's all hand sculpted. First, I have this Minnie Mouse lollipop. Next, I have this sandwich. So I just have this box. I needed one to put all my clay creations in because they were all like laying around like a...
Today's video is going to be unlike any video I've ever done on this channel, and I'm so excited. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. At least a decade I have wanted to do something like this. Today I am introducing to you all WhimsyWillow. I just started my own little small business. My shop is currently available on Etsy. My link to my Etsy shop will be the very first link in my description box. I also just created a Instagram page for my shop, so that is also WhimsyWillow by Ksenia, and that will be right here. I would love if you guys could go and support me and follow me on there. Now I want to start off by saying this video has nothing to do with perfumes. I know pretty much the majority, if not all of you that watch me because of my perfume content, but all I will say is I hope that you stay and watch this video for me, because this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. It's a passion of mine that I've had since I was 10 years old, and I'm 27 now, so it's been 17 years, and I'm finally deciding to do something with it and have my creations go out in the world. Very nerve-wracking, but very exciting. I've always been a very artistic, creative person. That's just how my brain is wired to work. I don't work analytically. I don't like math. I don't like any of that. I've always just been super creative, and that's just what truly makes me happy in this world, is just creating. And I have been creating since I came out the womb. I've been drawing and painting, and it's just always been something that's been a part of me. Specifically, polymer clay is a medium that I've been working with for almost 2 decades now. It's one of my favorite mediums. If you don't know what polymer clay is, it is a type of clay. It's not an air dry type of clay. You can work with it, and it doesn't dry or harden by just leaving it out like normal air dry clays. With polymer clay, after you're done making something, you bake it, and that is what hardens it, and then afterwards you can glaze it. You can use different kinds of glazes. I personally, with these creations that I'm sharing with you today, I wanted them to be as durable as possible, so everything is glazed with resin, so they are maximum durability, just really sturdy. Even though in general I feel like polymer clay is a really durable medium in terms of clay, the resin really just adds another level of durability to it, so it pretty much makes them like indestructible. Fun fact about me, but this YouTube channel is not the first YouTube channel that I've had. I had a dedicated channel to polymer clay way back when I was, I think, 11 or 12 years old. I still have that YouTube channel. Everything is private now because those videos are really embarrassing to look at. Not really embarrassing, it's like endearing kind of, you know, to look back at those videos, like my little self and how excited I was. I will actually add in a few clips of my original polymer clay channel that I had that was called The Polymer Clay World. Polymer clay back then was a really big community. It was so nice to work with different people that were also using that medium. There would be collaborations. It was back when YouTube had video responses that you could put in comments, and there was contests and entries that you can go. So it was like such a fun time to be on YouTube. So when I say YouTube has been my passion, I mean that for years. Anybody in my family knows that I've always been into making videos and sharing what I've been into, and as I've gotten older, I kind of maybe shifted from polymer clay and artistic stuff. I always did these things kind of behind the scenes and as my hobby. They've always been a part of me, but you know, as you grow up, people are like, oh, you need to make money, you need to make money, and so I shifted on to other things. And so obviously this perfume channel is all about perfumes, but if you were to ask me what I really love and what I'm super passionate about, it's this. I do love perfumes, do not get me wrong, I love them, but that's more of like a superficial love. This is more something that's embedded in my soul, is just being creative and artistic. So I hope that makes sense. Anyways, I wanted to share with you guys, I have a box right here, a shoe box, as you can tell. This is one of many shoeboxes filled with my original polymer clay creations. These are things that I made when I was 10, 12, and it is filled with stuff, like literally filled with stuff. The stuff is like well over 15 years old, which is crazy. Here's a little mermaid. I've always been into like whimsical things like this. Here's a random lizard, this turtle, literally the most random things. There's a little rose cake. Keep in mind, these things are like over 15 years old, like I said, so there's a lot of wear on them. Box of donuts. Oh, I just dropped it. Watermelon. This stuff is the stuff that I made when I was little, and I had just gotten into this stuff, so I would hope that my creations now are a little bit better than these, but we all have to start from somewhere. In terms of polymer clay, this was a medium that I kind of got acquainted with when I was like 10 years old. I worked with it for at least 5 years back then, and then I stopped. I kind of grew up and, you know, life kind of kicks in, so I stopped using it, and I've always picked it up on and off in different times of my life. I picked it up during COVID because obviously we were all locked, so I wanted to have something to do, and I was just in a really nostalgic mood, so I was really creating at that time, and it felt so good to just have unlimited time to create and do what I really love. So I picked it up back then. I made a ton of stuff. Things got better with COVID. I stopped, picked it back up like a couple years later, and then recently in the past year I've picked it up again, but in a different kind of way, because for the first time I've actually decided to do something with it, and I've always wanted to make a shop and sell my creations, so I have finally done that, and everything is live. I have been working on this shop and creating these items and doing prototypes, trying to perfect exactly what I wanted the final product to be. Thought I would start off kind of small with like a little small drop and kind of go from there. I started with 4 creations, obviously made a good amount of quantity for each one, although I will say everything is limited quantity. Obviously it's just I'm one person that's making all this stuff. I'm not a manufacturer, so it takes time to make all this stuff. I have made an Etsy shop. My shop name is WhimsyWillow, and it's all about fairy tale, whimsical things. I love anything whimsical, romanticizing my life. Like you can tell from my background, this is like all the things that I love. Fairy, magical, otherworldly, whimsical. This is the type of world that I want to live in, basically. And how I kind of live my life is just by romanticizing the simple things in life. I've struggled with anxiety and depression and all those things. I still struggle with it, but by romanticizing my life, it makes that a lot easier. And also creating, it's just what makes me truly happy. So I'm now going to share with you guys the 4 creations that have started up my Etsy shop that are currently all live on there. Like I said, limited drop. I'm going to see how things go in this first drop and kind of go from there, and I will make updates each time there's a new drop that goes live or like a restock that happens. This first collection is a very fairy tale like whimsical fantasy collection because like I said, I'm in love with that. So let me show you guys the 4 creations that are currently live. My first creation is a bookmark. In the past year, I've really gotten into reading, which I never thought I would say, because reading was always one of those things where I could never do it for prolonged periods of time. I would pick up a book, read a couple pages into it, and then I just forget about it. But in the past year or so, I've really been loving reading. I've created a nice little book collection, and I love just at the end of the day escaping into a book instead of just doom scrolling on my phone or whatever. I love reading, and I know there's a lot of readers out there, so I wanted to make a really whimsical little bookmark to go with all of your fantasy reading. So this is what the bookmark looks like. This is a little book. There's some butterfly wings coming out of it, a little crystal, and it's attached to this gold bookmark. And the way that it works, let's pretend this is a book. It's not, it's a journal. Basically, you know, you go to whatever page you're on and it just kind of hangs off of your book, and it's just a whimsical little touch to all of your reading. My next creation is probably one of my favorite of this entire collection, and that is Willow. So meet Willow. This is a little fairy frog. It features pink quartz, little butterfly wings, and then this little strawberry hat that he has on top. And Willow is actually a ring holder. So I have my little engagement ring right here, and you can just put your rings right on top of him. If you're working on stuff, he can be a little desk critter that you can just put on your desk. If you're doing dishes and you need to take your rings off, but sometimes you put them somewhere and they get lost or whatever, you can have Willow as your little ring holder right next to your dishes, and that is what he looks like. I love Willow. He's my favorite, and he's kind of the mascot of this little brand because it is literally the name of my shop, which is WhimsyWillow. I currently have 5 Willows ready to go to their forever home, but I do have a quantity of 20 per item listed on my Etsy shop right now, so I will be making them as I have orders coming in. Next, I don't want to pick favorites, but I think this next one is my favorite creation because I'm obsessed with Barbie, as I've said many times on this channel, but I grew up watching Barbie movies, like the original Barbie movies, Barbie 12 Dancing Princesses, Barbie Swan Lake. These are some of my favorites, but another one of my top favorites is Barbie Fairytopia. This movie is also really special to me because my very first Barbie doll that I had was of the Barbie Fairytopia Barbie, like the little fairy. And I still have that Barbie. Actually, it's in my little memory box. But I have made a little Bibble. Now, if you know, you know, I love Bibble from the Barbie movies. Bibble is a keychain. He's a little heart keychain. You can put this on your bag. Let me actually grab my bag so I can show you the one that I currently have on my bag. Here is the current Bibble on my bag right now. Here he is. Really cute little bag charm, and I love the meaning behind this because, like I said, I'm just obsessed with all Barbie movies. So that's the one on my bag. And then I have this and many more already pre-made now that my shop is live. So if you also love Barbie, you can now have your very own Bibble, and his little fairy wings back here are glow in the dark. The best way, by the way, to have these glow in the dark is to kind of charge them with light. So put them up to like a bright light and then his wings will glow. And yeah, that is the little Bibble keychain. Now the thing with Etsy is you can't have obvious known characters and sell them on Etsy. So the way I kind of went about this is I named him Pixie. So Pixie is obviously very much inspired by Bibble, and I love him. He's so cute. I don't want to pick favorites because they're all my favorite. They're like literally my children. They're my creations, but I think Bibble is my favorite. And then the last creation that I have, this is also Barbie inspired. Another one of my favorite Barbie movies is Barbie Swan Lake. I love Odette. First of all, I also love the name Odette. I think it's so beautiful and so princess-like. And I also have a huge obsession with swans. I have a swan candle holder back here. I love swans. I think they're so beautiful and just like regal. Also, fun fact about swans mate for life. I had to do a little swan, and not just any swan. This is inspired by Odette because if you watch the movie, you know the little crown that she has, and this little Odette also has the same crown. I mean, it's not the same obviously, but it's inspired by Odette from the movies, and she's on a little lily pad with a little pearl down here and a little flower, and then the bottom is just gold. And Odette is also a keychain, so you can also put this onto your bags, your keys, whatever. It's a keychain. You can put it on literally everything. Those are all of my creations. If you want close-ups of everything, just more detailed pictures, and you want to see how everything works, go and check them out either on my Instagram. I have full in-depth pictures over there, as well as, like I said, on my Etsy shop. I would love it if you guys could support me on this because this is something that is coming straight from the heart, and I'm really excited but equally really nervous to share this with the world. I've been working on these behind the scenes for the past few months now, and I finally have everything live on my Etsy shop, which will be the first link in my description box. It would mean the world to me if you guys could check it out and support me. Everything is limited obviously because I am one person making all this stuff. Not a manufacturer, just kind of like pumping all these things out. So it is a limited drop, but I will have restocks. And also keep in mind that no two creations are the exact same. Again, I'm not a manufacturer. I make all these by hand, so I try my very best to do exact measurements and sizes, and I have everything jotted down, but there may be little tiny minute differences between two creations because of that reason. And also give me about a week's time to ship things out because obviously I need a little bit of time to make everything. Obviously everything is super personalized and handmade. I am so excited to finally have this out there. It's been something that I've wanted to do for literally over a decade now, so I'm excited that everything is finally live. I would love it if you guys could support WhimsyWillow. Check out my Etsy shop, first link in my description. But that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.